Hi, I'm Jana, and this is a real mom car tour of the 2025 Chevrolet Equinox. I am in Minneapolis, and I am driving the RS, the LT, and the new Active trim level. LT, which is the entry-level trim level. Great time to remind you to like and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. So I'm going to tell you in this quick tour what I liked and what you need to know about the 2025 Chevrolet Equinox LT. The first thing you should know is that the engine has not changed. Under the hood, we have a 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. This is going to make 175 horsepower in both front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. You're going to make 183 pound-feet of torque with that front-wheel drive and just over 200 pound-feet of torque with the all-wheel drive. I know a lot of you are immediately going to say it's garbage, it's trash, you don't like it, it's too small, 1.5, it sucks, da-da-da. I've heard it on other cars, I've heard it on this. Let me just stop you. Give me a second to talk. The front wheel drive is going to operate on a CVT. The all wheel drive will be an 8-speed automatic transmission. The reason it has a 1.5 liter is for fuel economy. This is going to average high 20s. I think it's 27 combined in the front wheel and 26 combined in the all wheel drive. In the front, you're going to notice that this is a different grille than you're going to find on the RS, which would be black gloss, and the Active trim level, which is going to be kind of a combination of both. You're going to have more chrome here. You're still going to have these signature Chevrolet LED daytime running lights, or as all the cool kids call it, DRLs. You have your fog lights down there. And for the people that don't like that gloss piano black, well, you don't have much of it on here. I don't mind it at all, especially on the sportier trims. LT is going to come standard with 17-inch wheels. The RS is going to have larger wheels, and I'm not sure if you can upgrade these, but I'll let you know in the box. I think it's standard 17s. Maybe you can upgrade to 19s, but don't quote me on that. The RS has 19s, you can upgrade them to 20s. The Active also has 17s, and those come on all-terrain tires. You'll notice you still have roof rails up top. These are silver. This is a design feature so many people have lost their minds about on the new Traverse. It's also on the Tahoe. They call this the shark fin, and it's a design element, and I guess we would call this the C-pillar, the deep. You know, I'm no expert when it comes to engineering. People always correct me. Chevy calls this a shark fin. People hated it when I showed them this on Traverse, and I didn't realize it would be so polarizing. When I look at the side body, this does not bother me at all. One of the things that makes this a little bit different this year is on a wider track. So it's 2.5 inches wider. You're going to feel that a little bit in your shoulder room. You'll have a little bit more volume inside, but a larger track means a larger wheelbase. You're going to feel more substantial, bolder, more planted to the road. Another thing that's bolder is they have borrowed this wheel well. It's inspired by the Chevy Colorado and the truck DNA, which has more of a squared off wheel well. It gives it more of a sporty feel. I'm going to swing you back to the front really fast, because one of the things I wanted to mention in the front here, if you can see, they call these the eyebrows in the front. They've been lifted a little bit. I mean, I probably need a brow lift one day too, sister. But it's supposed to be, if you're at an approach angle, it's supposed to look more truck-like. Here's where they were talking about the eyebrows of the car. So you have your truck DNA in these wheel wells in the broader approach, and then you see it here in the back. It just feels a little lifted, a little wider, a little bolder and boxier. You have your spoiler, a camera back here, an exposed wiper. You have your LEDs in the back. Your Equinox is in chrome. You do have a power lift gate, and I'm going to show you what the cargo room looks like while we're back here. You have a light on each side, a 12-volt plug here, your 3 top tethers, your head restraints, and you have this little subfloor. So there is a spare tire under here, but check this out. You have hidden storage underneath the cargo in the back. And a lot of people may be driving around an Equinox and not know that, but I think it is a great place to hide stuff. Even if it's jumper cables or a diaper bag or a first aid kit, we always have sunscreen, bug spray, all that kind of stuff. It's just an extra place to put your stuff. Since we're in the back, I'm going to take you straight to the back seat so you can see what we're working with back here. These are on a 60-40 split. This is the 60 part. I'm going to say this lays flat. It's not totally flat. There is a little bit of a bump here. To me, it's flat enough. I don't have a problem with it. I might be able to get it a tiny bit flatter if I move these headrests. No, it's flattish. I have great legroom. You can see tons of legroom here. Pano roof goes all the way back. You have an armrest with 2 cup holders, so nothing earth-shattering there. But you should note that you have really a bottle holder in each door. I wouldn't call this a cup holder, so it really needs to be a bottle that's screw enclosed. You have 2 USB-C charging ports right here. Your vents are here, and just a tiny little, I don't even know what you would put there, so I'm not going to call that a cubby for storage because I don't think it's substantial enough to call it that. But I'm going to bring you in really quickly, see how that looks here. And I have a bottle right here. So there you go. New for 2025, you have this 11-inch fully digital gauge cluster or driver display. This button toggles and shows me my map. You do have Google Maps. And this is how you control your heated steering wheel. You have hands-free voice. I need directions to the Quincy.
Quincy Hall is 13 minutes from your location by car in light traffic.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of that, but I want you to see the voice assistance works really well. This is how you set your cruise control over here. Your auto hold button, your auto stop start. One of the things I like are the round turbine-like vents. The other thing that I do appreciate is this one-piece display. Now it's not one screen, it is 2 separate screens, but instead of it looking like they just strapped an iPad or something here, I like the way it flows. So this is a first time for Equinox, an 11.3-inch digital color touchscreen. You have wireless connectivity, you control your lights from here, you can see your cameras, and you have really good surround sound. That's each side of the front of my Equinox and the back, so you have a really clear 360 view. Action control, your high beams, and your park assistance here. Obviously, all of your audio here. And then you can, if you don't want the whole box to be just a map, if you hit this, you can divide it up and have different things on your screen just to customize it. And then back to home. Home is where you have your Alexa built in, your Google Assistant, your Google Play Store. You have your vehicle status, which is going to show you all kinds of stuff like your oil life, your tire pressure, and you can check each tire individually, which I think is so helpful. It tells you your brake pad life and then your air filter. So no more question when you go to the dealership and they're like, oh my gosh, your air filter is garbage. You're like, actually, brother, it's 100%. So you have broken out with your tires and brakes, your fluid and filters. You get your engine stats. This is where you control your heated and ventilated seats. We certainly don't need them heated today, even in Minneapolis. I like the fact that your climate is pulled out because sometimes I just need to be able to be like, oh my God, I'm hot, and get it down to low. You can still charge with a USB and a USB-C. You have a really nice tray for storage. You charge your phone here. Sideways, you have 2 cup holders. This is your drive mode selector, and it's a great time for me to talk to you about drive modes. Another storage here. You still have pretty good storage under here. Actually, I call that great storage. It's really deep. A glove box, and that's all pretty standard stuff. But let me show you this gear shifter up close. To park, we're gonna push that in. If we wanted to drive, we're gonna pull it and push down, then we drive forwards. If we wanted to go in reverse, we're gonna pull it in and go up. And for somebody like me, I go fast, and sometimes I end up just like pulling and not doing it, and I end up in park. Equinox RS. The first thing you should know that this engine is a carryover. It is still gonna have the 1.5 liter under this hood. The one difference is it's gonna be paired with a CVT and front wheel drive, but it is available in all-wheel drive, and that's gonna come with an 8-speed automatic transmission. So you're gonna make 175 horsepower in both the front wheel and the all-wheel drive, but your torque is gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna make 184 pound-feet of torque in your front wheel drive and just over 200 pound-feet of torque in the all-wheel drive. One of the things you'll notice right away is that this front end has been revised. It's a little bit taller and wider and has a more bold feel. It is integrating that truck DNA that they've put into the new Traverse, and I really like the feel of it. You have LED running lights, your daytime running lights here, which are a carryover from others, and I had them on. Did they go off? I bet they went off because we were waiting so long for the man. There's 3 trim levels, the RS, the LT, and Active. And you're gonna notice the RS because it's gonna have more of your high gloss black trim up front. You're gonna have more of this gloss black trim that you can see across here that carries all the way around and down here and in the front. The other trims come standard with 17-inch wheels, but the RS comes standard with 19s, and you do have the option to upgrade to a 20-inch wheel, which I always go for the bigger wheel. You have your LED lights. I like the way this feels a little bit wider and boxier. You have your black top. So you can choose to have a two-toned with a black roof. Of course, you can get body colored. It really is up to you. I don't normally like two-toned, I'm gonna be quite honest with you, but I think it works with this, especially with the red. It's really pretty. I like how in the RS, our badging is blacked out. We have an exposed wiper, and let me just show you what it looks like in your cargo area. This is a dedicated 2-row 5-passenger. We have lights in the back, one on either side so we can see what we're doing. You have 3 sets of top tethers, 3 head restraints. Here you do have a spare, and you just have really good cargo room. I don't have my suitcase because I already checked into the hotel, but I think you can see that I fit back here just fine, which is good. We also have a 12-volt plug back here in case you want to do the tailgate thing, and these seats lay flat, and I'm going to see if I can do this with grace. Is my bag there? There you go. Flat-ish. That's not completely flat. I'm going to bring you in so you can see this for it yourself. So what do you say? Do you call, I don't call that flat, but it is how it lays down. But even you could get a dog crate or something in here. To me, I'm calling this flat. It's on a 60-40 split. I'm a little bit ahead of myself. Do have a power lift gate. RS stands for Rally Sport, in case you did not know that. It is going to give you your more sporty feel. It is the sportier, more dynamic looking trim level. And the sportiness here is coming from your black accents, the fact that you can get bigger wheels and tires. Toggles and shows me my map. You do have Google Maps. And this is how you control your heated steering wheel. You have hands-free voice. I need directions to the Quincy.
Quincy Hall is 13 minutes from your location by car in light traffic.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of that, but I want you to see the voice assistance works really well. This is how you set your cruise control over here. And this is how you toggle your all-wheel drive, your parking brake, your auto hold button, your auto stop start. One of the things I like are the round turbine-like vents with the additional red. It looks smart, it looks stylish. There's a close-up of that trim, and you can see here. The other thing that I do appreciate is this one-piece display. Now it's not one screen, it is 2 separate screens, but instead of it looking like they just strapped an iPad or something here, I like the way it flows. So this is a first time for Equinox, an 11.3-inch digital color touchscreen. It has wireless connectivity. Well, how can I get a good angle on this without seeing my shorts? We're just gonna have to go with it. I'm gonna give you a better angle, but I'm not doing a fantastic job. You have wireless connectivity. You control your lights from here. You can see your cameras, and you have really good surround sound. That's each side of the front of my Equinox and the back, what's in front of me, and what is behind me. So you have a really clear 360 view. If I want to get out of that, you have your power window lockout, and that is if you have people in the back seat and you don't want them controlling it. You control your traction control, your high beams, and your park assistance here. Obviously, all of your audio here. And then you can, I don't know if you saw this when I just did some GMC stuff. If you don't want the whole box to be just a map, if you hit this, you can divide it up and have different things on your screen just to customize it. And then back to home. Home is where you have your Alexa built in, your Google Assistant, your Google Play Store. You have your vehicle status, which is going to show you all kinds of stuff like your oil life, your tire pressure, and you can check each tire individually, which I think is so helpful. It tells you your brake pad life, and then your air filter. So no more questioning when you go to the dealership and they're like, oh my gosh, your air filter is garbage. You're like, actually, brother, it's 100%. So you have broken out with your tires and brakes, your fluid and filters. You get your engine stats with your oil pressure and temperature. On my gearheads, I know you guys love to see all these specific things, and fuel economy. So in this car, I haven't been driving it all day, but 33 has been the best. Average 15 because I've basically been sitting here, so I don't feel like that's very accurate. But I will put MPG on the screen because it's actually not a number that I know at this point, so I will get back to you on that. While we're here in our center stack, I do want to show you how pretty the RS is when it comes to design. I think it looks really sporty. Hopefully you do. Let me know if it's your vibe in the comments. This is where you control your heated and ventilated seats. We certainly don't need them heated today, even in Minneapolis. I like the fact that your climate is pulled out because sometimes I just need to be able to be like, oh my God, I'm hot, and get it down to low. You can still charge with a USB and a USB-C. You have a really nice tray for storage. You charge your phone here. Sideways, you have 2 cup holders. This is your drive mode selector, and it's a great time for me to talk to you about drive modes. Another storage here. You have 3 drive modes in Equinox. You have normal, which is your everyday around town driving. Off-road, which will automatically put you in all-wheel drive. And then you have snow and ice, which will also be all-wheel drive, but the suspension and the handling will be built for snow and ice. One of the things I love seeing is a camera in the rearview mirror. Still having a place to put sunglasses, big fan of that, and a pano roof, which for this price point, I freaking love. And it's a really not a bad back seat. These seats are also heated, standard heated seats, which is so amazing. Like I mentioned, your vents are here in the center console area. You have 2 USB-C chargers. You have 2 sets of ISOFIX latches here and here. And these are so easy to use. So I do nothing gracefully. You pop these out and you see where to hook your car seat stuff in. It's really easy. But then if they're not in use, you know, the crumbs and dirt and stuff isn't falling in there, that covers it up. You still have this really pretty red and blue stitching back here, still having good bolstering. I mentioned a head restraint, which is important even for the middle seat. And I'm going to show you if we had 2 convertible car seats installed, or a convertible and a bucket. You could still ride here. It's very comparable to the RAV4, for example. No, it's not going to be that comfortable, but mamas and dads, we've done it. Grandmas, we've done it. It can be done. Squeezing these childbearing hips back here. I showed you the 60-40 split. I want you to see it from this angle. The thing I haven't touched on is MPG, and I'm going to put those numbers right here because honestly, I don't remember them and I don't want to say it incorrectly. But I can tell you a lot of people are going to be so triggered that it has a 1.5 liter engine. For this price point and for this gas mileage, you can't have a huge engine. It just is what it is. I forgot to mention, with your 2-tone roof, you also have black roof rails, which look great. You have cameras here on each mirror, in the front and in the back, and that's what gave us that really pretty surround view. And I think that's it. These are available for sale now. Pricing is online. You can even build yours at Chevrolet.com. Chevy Equinox Activ trim. And why is that important? This is the first time Equinox has ever had the Activ trim. And to be honest, it's the first time the Equinox actually had a little bit of street cred. It looks good. It has the same engine. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm going to take you all around the inside and the outside of this 2025 Equinox in a quick tour. I'm going to tell you what I liked and what you need to know. So buckle up. Let's start in the front. The first thing you should know, this engine is a carryover from a previous generation. It's the 1.5 turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's going to make 175 horsepower, and the all-wheel drive is going to be paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. That is a little bit different. The previous year was a 6-speed, and we need those 2 extra gears to help us with this all-wheel drive. In the all-wheel drive, you're going to make right over 200 pound-feet of torque. You do have the option to get front-wheel drive, and you're going to make around, I think it's 183 pound-feet of torque, but I'll check that and put it in the notes. So, engine's the same. It is what it is. The front end has got a little bit of that truck DNA that they have started to put through the lineup. I mean, the Chevy Trax got an overhaul and looks really good. The new Traverse, one of my faves. If you've been with me long enough, you'll know. If not, go find that video. I have 2 videos on the brand new Traverse, and she's a beauty. And you still feel some of that coolness here. This is what the engineers call the eyebrows of the car, and they set it off with these LEDs that carry through on the Chevrolet crossover lineup. And Activ has a unique grille that you won't see in the LT or the RS trim levels. You're going to have a little bit of the gloss black that's going to be from the sister RS, but a little bit of this darker, I'm going to call that smoky chrome looking accent right here, and Activ gives you a black bow tie. You have these LED daytime running lights, which I pointed to, your headlights here, and your fogs that are still again trimmed in a little bit of that sporty black high gloss trim, which just makes it look good. This is a new color this year, and it's called cacti green, and they've paired it with this 2-tone top, which I'm going to swing around to the side and show you, because it shouldn't work, but somehow it does. The cacti green paired with the 2-tone white roof just lends itself to such a fresh, sporty exterior. I think there's 7 different paint colors you can choose from, but I will show you those. There's a little hub set up where I can show you all the paint swatches, and you can see one that would look really cool. There's a pretty blue, and I don't know if you can do it with the 2-tone top, but it is an option. You do have black roof rails up top that are functional, but one of the things that I noticed the most is how they've revised these wheel wells. But truly the design element is just to give this more of a rugged, tougher appearance. And I like it. This is matched, so these are 17-inch wheels, and they are matched with General Grabber all-terrain tires. Before you say it, I know all-terrain tires can be loud and the roar. We've been here, we've driven on the highway, on dirt roads. Honestly, it's not loud. It's not exactly what I was expecting. I thought it would feel a little bit rough, a little bit bumpy. I didn't get any of that transfer. I've been riding most of the time, but it's a comfortable ride. And I'll get more into my driving impressions later. But these are not just fashionable, they are functional. Your MPG numbers, you're gonna get 24 in the city, 29 highway for a combined MPG of 26. Here's a look under the hood at that 1.5 liter. This one is the one that's paired with the 8-speed automatic transmission, and your MPG that's going to give you is 24 in the city, 29 highway for a combined MPG of 26. There have been improvements in the back of this car as well. The same kind of feeling, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, it's on a larger track, so it's 2.5 inches wider, which is going to make you just feel a little bit more connected to the road. It gives it a better feeling when you're driving it, and it gives you a tiny bit more volume, cargo space, not really necessarily cargo, but it gives you a little bit more shoulder room and space inside. You also have this rear end updated because it's a little more boxy, a little wider, badging in black, again your black bow tie. I like how the roof line flows into this spoiler with your brake light here. a full 360, which I'll show you when we get inside, a backup camera, and all of that. But the new thing this year, it does have an auto sense lift gate. So when you approach, it will beep after it senses your presence and then open for you. So there's no more kicking. This does not accommodate a third row. It's a dedicated 5-passenger. You have 3 head restraints in the back, as well as 3 top tethers, 2 sets of lower ISOFIX latches. I'll show you when we get up there. But this is a nice little cargo area. We have a light on each side so we can see what we're doing. You have a 12-volt plug over there. And one of my favorite things is all of this storage under here. So you can just see, this is my overhead storage bag and my partner's bag right here. And I don't know how men pack everything they need for like 3 days in this bag. The takeaway is you have great cargo, you have good amenities. The one thing that I noticed, it doesn't necessarily bother me, is that if you want to drop your second row, you are going to need to come around and do that with this handle. This is your 40, it's a 60-40 split. And this is probably not, oh, it will go down. I was gonna say my partner's seat was kind of far back. He's got long legs, but this still went down. It's flat-ish. It's not completely flat. That does not bother me. You could still get a dog crate or whatever you need if you're hauling stuff. I don't think it's gonna be a problem. And it truly doesn't bother me because I have long arms. And so if I wanted to drop this, all I do is lean forward and I can do it from here. Power to close. And I think that's just about everything I have to show you for the outside of the new Equinox. The rest of the updates are on the inside. Let me start in this driver's seat. It's power adjusted, but it's also heated and ventilated. So these seats are a combination, they're mixed materials. So you have some suede, you have some of the Evotex, and you have a Sporty, I don't know if we're calling this gold. So this is called maple sugar. And it's matched with a darker, I'm half colorblind. If you didn't know that, I should have told you. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell between like black and dark gray. You get the point. Mixed material seats in this active trim level that feel good. I said it in one of my other videos for LT and RS. The bolstering and the softness of the seats, it feels really good to me. I like it. Of course, I love the fact it's power adjusted. When I got behind the wheel, I'm just in a position where I feel good. This is not power, but it does go up and down. It does not telescope in and out. Oh, wait, I lied to you. I just had it all the way out. So, in and out, up and down. This interior is all new. A lot of texture in here. So I want to bring you in. You can see the seats up close with the suede and the trim here. I know that this busy interior is not for everybody, but for the active trim level, I see what they're doing here. Giving it more of a rugged type feel, even up here on your dash. I'm going into more detail on this active trim because it's new. And you know, if you're a fan of Chevrolet or not, I mean, LT and RS are trims that they've had in other cars forever. But this is new, so you can see on these details, I like it. And here's how you control your ventilated and heated seats. You also have the option to control your climate from this screen. This is new. This is 11.3 inches in this infotainment, and it's paired up with this 11-inch fully digital driver display. And I did a whole full video on the infotainment in this car. So if you're interested or if you might be in the market, please go watch that video because I get down in the weeds on what this means, how Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is affected, all those things. Notice this, I don't know, I don't want to be weird, but do you see the thickness of this steering wheel? How substantial it is? I mean, my fingers are barely touching, let's just say. I like that. I just debated this with the person I was with, and he said he liked his not skinny, not fat. This seems to be the right. It feels good. I don't want to get crazy on that because I know it sounds wild. While I've got you in this point of view, I love the round air vents. I think style-wise they look good, and it's also easy for me to get the air on me, and I'm always hot. This is where you control, this is your electronic parking brake, your all-wheel drive, your auto hold, your auto start stop. There are 3 drive modes in this all-wheel drive vehicle. So you have your normal everyday drive mode, your off-road drive mode, going to activate your all-wheel drive settings and give you better off-road performance, and then snow and ice, and that is going to give you the best drive mode for slippery situations. Because you have this electronic gear shifter and it's up here, it freed up all this space. So now there is this pass-through. Notice this steering wheel, I should have mentioned earlier, does have paddle shifters. Up top, we have a sunglass holder. You can open up your pano roof with this button. And you can open your back end with this button or your key fob, and I told you the Auto Sense as well is a great addition to this upgraded. One thing we haven't looked at, oh yeah, there we go. Mirror with lights, armrest with your 2 cup holders here, and I call this a bottle holder in each door because I don't think it's good for an open cup. And then here's what it looks like in the middle seat. And I'm showing you this because if you were to install 2 car seats with these 2 sets of lower latches, you could fit here. I like the fact this floor is flat. Can you tell? It makes it great if you want to throw a bag back here, or if you're riding here so you don't have your legs on a hump. You have heated seats standard with that heated steering wheel. Your vents are here, and there are 2 USB-C chargers on the back of the console. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tour of the 2025 Chevy Equinox Activ, the all-new trim level for the Equinox. If you have any questions of things I didn't cover, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you liked this video, please go find the brand new Equinox RS and the LT videos. They're up now. And I also did a full tour, a tech tour with the Chevy technologist for the infotainment. And we got down and dirty about Apple CarPlay and subscriptions, and you don't want to miss that. So definitely go find that. I think you'll like it. If you liked me, like, subscribe. You can find me all over social media. I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm at realmomcartours.com. So I think that's it. Thanks for watching.